interrupting myself later in the video. I'm gonna move this to the front, but I talk about a medical, not like a medical procedure or anything. Like I talk about my experience with COVID and the medication cocktail. They've come up to medicate it, and at the end of it, I make a really fucked up joke, and that's where my head's at. And I always want to be honest with you guys, but also like, y'all should take care of yourselves, even if that means turning me off. So I am going to put like right here the timestamp of where it happens, and you can like turn off before then, or you can like skip it or do whatever you need to do. But that was probably really loud. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm not recording. What the fuck? All of that, I don't know where it cut off. Son of a bitch. Anyway, cut that out. I'm going to put the timestamp here so you guys can skip it if you have to. And I'm going to put, well, I'll record another little thing in a second about when the audio is going to have to switch to not binaural. Anyway, take care of yourselves.
Red bird rustles. Eye contact is really hard after so long. This is ridiculous. Hi, I'm I don't know if I can say I'm back, but starting it already. This video is gonna have a lot of cuts for coughing. I am so incredibly tired of coughing, but I've been trying to make this video. I've been trying to make this video for 2 weeks now. It is officially my second day off ever at this job. But I didn't mean to take such a long break. So this is just going to be a whisper ramble and trigger assortment. You know, I have a stack of stuff that I'm going to try to get to. The last time I tried to shoot this video, I actually ran out. So I got more, and even before I get into what's been up with me, I want to you know, credit where it's due. Mad props to the people that can like achieve a flow state. I've been watching like a lot of Miss Manganese, you know, who can just make anything a trigger, but keep up a narration while she's doing it. And like the first time I kept getting like lost in the triggers, and you know, I didn't know how to like keep them even and keep the story going. So like, I don't know, there are some people that are better at this than others, and it'll come with practice. I have to get back into it, so let's get back into it. So I had I don't know if you can hear that. You don't want to deal with how ashy I am. I had always intended to take December off, and I made that decision in like, I made that decision in like September, which is like a weird time to be practicing on the beach, but like that was the thing that made it. I was gonna make this really long like video just filming the waves and the sunset. I went and did that in like early September because we were, the season was winding down and I couldn't drive on anymore. Well, I mean, you can drive on as long as you have the pass. It's just like it's like if you don't do it, never mind. So I had always been planning on taking December off because I think I've mentioned before, the holidays aren't easy for me in ways that I think are pretty obvious, And I had planned on, pre-filming every video except the card video, because like, do you guys remember when I had a plan when I was gonna do like a card reading video and then the 2 opposing gender videos and then like a role play, which I don't think I ever got around to doing any role plays on the channel except Katie's. I don't remember. And then the end of the month was going to be like a whisper ramble check-in or pep talk. And I think I only had a single month where I hit all 5. And I was going to pre-film for December and schedule. I think one went up. I remember there was a day that it like poured and I was like, hey, this is an opportunity and I can do it opposite the beach video. I don't know why I'm right-handed. I don't know if you guys knew that. But we're back at it again with I can't remember the last thing I said. It's harder now. It's harder now to make the thought train stay on a track. And I even like I have over on the little table that I'm using, I even like made myself a list so I don't forget everything that I wanted to pack into this video, I've been forgetting a lot recently. Like, I don't know how many of you out there have the trauma brain thing where like it's a specifically ADHD trauma brain thing where like everything is immediate, you know what I mean? And like the last major thing to happen is the only thing that's ever happened ever. So like someone can come up to you and be like, hey man, how's it going? And like, depending on how long it's been since you've seen them, like you're not able to tell them all of anything of the stuff that may or may not have happened recently or going back to the last time you've seen them, because all you can concentrate on is like the last big thing that happened. And for me, the last like big blow up thing that happened was the holidays of 2021, and I don't remember like the entire back half of it. I know I made videos. I know I was like years that I had been home and without like a rent check job. You know those itches that are like right on the edge of your nose so that it looks like you're picking your nose? Like, I wasn't picking my nose, but even so, you guys don't even want to think about me picking my boogers. But yeah, I don't really remember the latter half of 2021. I remember the first half, obviously. Like, I remember, of course, you know, being drunk for most of it and being way too worried about other people's opinions. And I remember over the summer trying to muster up and be like, okay, I have 3 things I want to do, and I'm going to set a schedule, and like everything is going to get its own day. And on days when it's not that, you know, on days when it's not that, it's not allowed to intrude on anything else's day. And I had a dear friend of mine actually angry zippies. I'm so tired of coughing. It's been literally the worst. Wouldn't be an ASMR video without a throat frog. Welcome back. I'll probably cut most of that. I don't know. Anyway, I was like, I have these 3 things that I want to do. A dear friend of mine had actually encouraged me to like resurrect my writing Patreon, you know, which is also sort of like a creative motivation thing I do for other creators. And another friend of mine and I in about April of 2020, when like everyone was still thinking, oh, the kids will be back in school by May, and then we'll be able to, you know, we'll be able to get our shit together. We had come up with this plan to, how did it even start, God? Oh, I had found a recipe for bath bombs. And, because, like, we're gonna make personal luxury products. And, we were gonna make bath bombs. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I wore did you want something? Pet tax. Come here. Come here. I can hear you. Come here. Come on. No, because you get mad at me. I don't know if you can hear her. Are you going to be in my video? Alright, just hang out. Just be chill and hang out. 5 seconds. Yeah. But, yeah, we were going to make closer process. I do the bath bombs and the pendants. I think I auto posted something. Yeah, cutting the pendants, I think in January, that I just like tossed up because there were crinkles. But can we go to the other ear? Yeah. But what was the third thing? There were 3 things. Oh, the channel. The ASMR channel. I had a day that I had 2 days. Madam, you are shedding. Oh, are you done? Okay. Okay, bye. Oh, damn it. I started to do this over there, and then I went like this. And I was like, ah, it's hard coming back. But yeah, I had, cooperate. I have no idea how loud that was. But I had those 3 things I wanted to do, plus my editing. And for the life of me, I can't remember what got in the way of it every week. But like, doing this in the wrong direction. It's ASMR. Everything can be a trigger. But also, nobody come for me for not having a lint roller. It's in my partner's truck, which he has it at work with him right now. But yeah. So I don't really know what kept me from making more content in the fall. But I never got the videos pre-filmed. And then, the week after Thanksgiving, which is already like a very pressure-heavy, unenjoyable holiday for me. The week after, the laptop I've been using for everything, including my editing, which is like my capital J job. It's what my degree is for. The laptop died. And it's like, that was more of a trauma than I should probably admit to, you know? Because like, as a queer kid growing up in Catholic school, the internet was where I went to be anonymously honest. Anonymously honest. Anonymously honest. I like that one. I'm gonna give it to Jody Marie next time she decides to get drunk. But I lost access to all my digital spaces. I lost access to my ability to create comfortably, because like I know you can download like the Docs app to your phone now, but like I have chronic pain, I have joint shit that I'm not gonna detail for everybody, but like did I get it all? I didn't. Everywhere. It's just everywhere. I should change, but that would probably mean tracking down a bra. I don't think I've worn a bra since May 5th. That's a lie. I've worn one once. That story is nobody's business. But was saying. We're back to the good old days of I should charge money for how often I say. I don't remember what I was saying. But yeah, like there was the trauma of like losing my ability to comfortably create and also like perform my job. I was so scared all of my clients were gonna fire me, and like a couple did. A couple were like, I can't wait, I have deadlines. And I was like, you know, my brother, like I can't ask you to wait for me to be able to resolve this, because like I think I've said once or twice before, or at least on Twitter I have. At least on Twitter I've said, like, I don't understand all of these people who get arsed and up in arms about, like, you know, constantly saying, you know, thank you for the funds you send in, I'm gonna pour it back into the channel, or like every bit you contribute lets me create more for the channel or the shop or the stream or, you know, what have you. And it's like, yes, any funds would help me dedicate more time to creating content, but that's because it's money I don't have to spend it, or it's time, money for time I don't have to spend at my job, which goes towards paying my bills. Like, it's okay to say content creation is my full-time job and therefore is what keeps my lights on, you know what I mean? Like, I thought there was a cat hair on the lens and I was gonna be like, how? But yeah, even having the editing revenue stream and like all the other stuff I was doing, you know, we weren't selling the bath bombs and jewelry yet. We weren't, I wasn't going to create a separate Patreon for my ASMR. I have a coffee, but like, I don't know how to advertise or market. I didn't have anybody asking for custom, and I didn't have that much of a viewer base yet, a subscriber base yet, so I wasn't really pushing it, you know what I mean? So I didn't know how I was going to resolve that quickly, and I couldn't ask people to wait for me, and what did I do next originally? I don't remember. This wasn't on the original trigger list, but like, fuck it, it's in here. Squeeze some dice. That was another thing I lost when I lost my laptop. I lost my ability to like game with several different tables that I'm at, and like after that point there were like a whole lot of people asking all the time, hey, did you get news about your laptop? Hey, did you find a way to fix it? Hey, did you find a way to get a new one? Like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And it was just so much pressure. And I don't want to say dehumanizing, but I did start feeling some type of way where it was like, am I a friend? Am I a human? Or am I a dopamine dispenser? You know? But like, I know everybody meant well, and I know everybody missed me, but like, the people that were asking weren't leading with, we miss you. They were leading with, we want to get back to our game. I am so tired of coughing. But, Thanksgiving. I'll post up a picture of it if I can find one from the like really bad days. But we had like several natural disasters and just like the fact that this house is old as shit disasters, where we ended up having to move like a bunch of storage and a bunch of just stuff that didn't go anywhere else. Then the affected area of the house that needed to be cleared for repairs, and eventually like that ate my dining room table. Like it became my desk, it became my partner's desk, it became my son's desk. Like it's where all of old school assignments that we didn't want to throw out because, you know, it's our kids' memories, you know, like we want his handwriting as it evolves, we want his old drawings, we want his A's and we want the things that he failed as well, so that we can be like, look, you came back from this. And then like I would put seasonal decorations that like I was in too much pain to carry up the attic stairs. Stairs, it's a fucking ladder and I hate it. But like if I was in too much pain to get it up there, I would just shove it under the dining room table because we weren't using it anyway. And then because that was available flat surface, more papers and like other stuff we weren't using. I started calling it the slush pile. Where are we at for time? We should be good. This is my dice tray. I think I've told this story before. Don't tell my partner I'm sentimental, but this is off the first box of chocolates he ever bought me back in 2007. Oh no. Our 15-year anniversary is in like 2 weeks. That's a problem for tomorrow, bird. But yeah. That just caused like a minute-long stall out in my brain. I completely forgot what I was talking about because I became so worried about my frickety frackin' anniversary. We're not even that sentimental. It's just that it's not a round number, but it's, you know, it's 15. It's numbers ending in 5s or 0s. But anyway, speaking of my partner, he had been saying for years, you know, we either eat at the kitchen counter or we eat spaced apart from each other around the coffee table watching TV. I miss family sit-downs, I miss family dinners, I miss, you know, looking my son in the eye and asking him about his day. So, I knew with the way my executive dysfunction works, I was never going to do it without a time, like, something panic-inducing to overcome the neurotransmitter deficit. Maybe that's how I'll make this relevant and fit into, like, my mental healthy thing that I do. I'll talk about that at the end. But, let me write that down because I'm gonna fucking forget. For those of you wondering, not that you can keep track because I'm not telling you what it originally said, but remember that list I mentioned at the beginning of the video? I have completely diverged from it. Well, not diverged. I just went out of order. That's fine, it's fine. I'll get there. I have all the time in the aural today because it's my day off. And we're back. I had to take a little bit of a break because I coughed a lot and almost died, but I'm okay now. This is a cute little, speaking of the games that I play, this is one of my game notebooks that I don't want to show you the notes because it's like I'm not in charge of this game, but I start my notes up here and then I write down onto the next page, and I think that's fun, especially for this game where we play, like, we're actually playing as animals, we're playing as woodland creatures. It's called Wander Home. I don't know how brushing this is going to go. I only thought of it because it was sitting here with my dice. But, we'll give it a try. I don't know how I'm gonna do it either. Oh, well, whatever. But yeah, I don't know why cleaning is so traumatic for me. I don't know why it offends my senses and like it pings my anxiety, which is like the dumbest shit ever, but it's what happens. We're gonna make this a quick trigger. But yeah, I was like, when I finally said to my partner after Thanksgiving, you know, I'm gonna have a lot of free time since I won't be making anything. The only way the dining room is gonna get clean again is with the time pressure of someone coming over, and with the way like the pandemic is still going on and we can't really trust the entire extended network of family. Not even trust. I mean, there are some people where it's like, I do not believe that you've been staying safe because I see your social medias. But yeah, like, I was like, let's just do a really small Christmas, your parents and my parents. I'll cook everything. And it'll force me to clean that entire area and, you know, the rest of the house. So, like, it was kind of the perfect 1-2 punch. Luna Bloom does that where she'll be like, poo, poo, poo. But yeah, that's why I can't really remember anything before Thanksgiving and Christmas, because I lost my connection to like everything that makes me human. And then I set myself up for being upset and triggered every day because I had things to do that I didn't know if I could do them. And I'm proud of, I'm not proud of myself for like pushing past the pain of it, because there was a lot of pain, because like it was a lot of up and down fucking attic ladder, you know, which is just a really uncomfortable space and action. But like I would get through a little bit of it. I wonder if I could do that as a trigger with a straw. No, not my style. But I would, you know, I would get through a few steps of the process, and like when my pain would flare up or when my panic would flare up, I would, you know, complete the task, and then I would myself up about it and being like, no, gotta push through, suck it up and drive on. Like, I took the time that I needed, and that's why that's what I'm proud of, is choosing the recovery of acknowledging that, like, I have limitations and I should respect them and I should rest when I need it. And I got it done for the most part. There is behind the camera, we have our I don't even know if I have an overhead picture that's clean enough to show you fellas, but we have a like, my house has one fucking door. One or two, because the bathroom has a door on it, but otherwise, like, the only enclosed space is my bedroom. And other than that, it's one contiguous space from, like, the garage door that's over there, and then down a hallway, and here's my kitchen, and then out here, this is the dining room, the living room's over there, and, like, we made an office space by putting down, like, pergo floor for me that obviously, like, I don't use because it got really dirty, and then, like, it's up the stairs into my son's bedroom, and it's a loft. Like, it doesn't have a door. Oh, there's 3 doors, because there's a bathroom up there. There's a bathroom up there with a stall shower. But yeah, my house only has 3 doors. Where was I going with that? But anyway, right behind the camera, there's like, dividing the living room from the dining room. We have the couch facing that way, and then spun against the back of it, we have a day bed for when people come and crash. And right now, it is piled. Like, a day bed has like to be a day bed, it has to have the thing on the side. It is piled above the not banisters, posts. It's anyway, the stack of, like, stuff that should be elsewhere is above the railing on the bed. Throat frog. What else can I do? What else did I do? I can't remember shit. This was supposed to be the intro was telling you about, like, I don't remember before Thanksgiving and Christmas. 2021 is just, like, one big blur of being uncomfortable. I didn't mean to take as long as I did off. I tried to get back to it and, like, lost the computer, had all this static with friends and family and blah blah blah, like, the cleaning, like, that was all supposed to be, like, the 5-minute intro. I have no idea, like, I've had to take so many breaks because I've been coughing and, the dog bark, the cat, whatever. I have no idea how long this is going to be, but it's already, like, 3 segments long, and I think I'm on minute 9 of this one. We'll see how it goes in the editing, but I can't remember shit anymore, even aside from the drama. I didn't mean to take as long of a break as I did. I did try to get back to it in January, and I have like half of a card video filmed that I think I'm going to release in July. I'll put it in the middle of June, I think, just to be a shit, because it was a card video, that's what I can do. How am I gonna tap on this? It wouldn't be me if there wasn't a deck of cards, you know what I mean? But it was supposed to be a card video based on everyone's New Year's resolutions as the way that people picked. So I'll release it in June as, like, a check-in of how everyone's doing on their New Year's resolutions. This is probably going to go up in June too. I'm just going to throw everything back and then, happy bride, I'm back. I'm not back. I don't know how this is going to go, because a contributing factor to how long I stayed out of the game and wasn't able to film anything, love that transition, that was so smooth, because at the end of February, I don't want to say too much about the circumstances of it because, like, it is a highly Googleable fact, like, set of, how do I explain this? I have no idea how to explain this without doxing myself. But the point is, where am I gonna? I guess in my lap. Sorry you guys can't see it, but what if it gets, like, you know, it gets too close to the mocha moke. When it gets too close to the mic, it peeks out. You know what? I'm leaving that in. But, come on. Shut up. But, anyway, oh my god, this video is gonna be so long. Nobody's gonna know. Whatever, it's fine. Screw it, I'll just say, like, a friend of mine is a doctor. And I had gone in to get my COVID booster. And I walked out with a job because of some circumstances that, like, again, it would make it really easy to Google it, and I don't want people to find out where I work. But yeah, I got, for the first time in my whole life, I got a 9-to-5 job. Because I've always worked, like, service industry stuff where your hours are completely unpredictable and they change week to week. And, you know, after the initial quick scramble that made hiring me necessary, because a whole bunch of stuff happened, like, all at once that had to be accounted for. You know, now that it's resolved, I do have a standard schedule literally every week. You know, like, I have the same days that I get off early. I have the same day, like, I'm going to have a day off every week, in the middle of every week. You know, like, and then I have a couple days where I work all the way to 5:30. And it's just wild to think of, like, all of a sudden I have structure where I didn't for so long. And, like, it's not helping the creative process. I tried many times to, like, be like, oh, I'm gonna keep up with my writing, oh, I'm gonna get back to ASMR creation, and, like, the most I've done, I did a collaboration with Yoloma that I'll link in the description. You should really check it out. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of stress because I didn't know how I was gonna accomplish what I did. But yeah, I think things would have kept going, like, exactly the way they were if it hadn't been for, you know, in year 3 of all this shit, my partner finally caught and brought home COVID. Thankfully, you know, genetic lottery winner over here, I qualified immediately for Paxlovid, which means that he did too, because we did, like, you don't want to pass it back and forth to each other. And as soon as we tested positive, like, we were able to, like, my son missed an entire week of school. Like, that's an acceptable sacrifice to me. If we could get him out of this house, and if we could, like, really, like, isolate and air it out before he got back, and you know, that's been the boot in my arse that has me like, you know, I should probably get back to the things I had meant to be doing, because I could run out of time at any point, you know what I mean? Like, we've been joking in our blacker moments, because, like, it was such a fucking ordeal, and, like, I don't think I believed the people that said they had neurological symptoms, because, like, I have my own neurological symptoms. We just talked about how I can't remember half of an entire year, but, like, that's different. Like, my brain has always worked that way, where it erases broad swaths of time before the last ordeal that becomes the only thing I can talk about. It's a real different brain feel when you try to follow a process and you can remember being able to follow your brain down that pathway, but you can't make it go. Like, it was really scary, and, like, a lot of it has resolved. Like, I had a lot of problems finding the words that I wanted out loud. I could still do it in type. Like, I was still able to text people, but, like, out loud, I had that, you know, tip of my tongue feeling where it was like, okay, I know this word either starts with a T or the first syllable ends with a T, but I don't know the exact word that I'm looking for. You know, it's right, like, I know it exists, I just don't know which one it is right now. I had that more times in the, you know, long ass span of time I had COVID, because I rebounded. That's a fun story. But, like, that happened more during that time than it ever has in the rest of my life. You know, y'all know I'm a writer. Y'all know I'm an editor. Y'all know that words are like my playground, and not being able to access them was really scary. No throat frog. But yeah, it was scary. And scarier still was, like, it was coming negative at the end of it and then coming positive again. There's apparently like a sweet spot. The cards are not cooperating with me, and neither is my throat. But there's apparently a sweet spot for the medication cocktail they have come up with to mitigate the effects of COVID, that will mitigate it so much that your experience of it is actually shorter. And my partner got that. With allergies around here, we don't know when his actual day 0 was. We're calling the day that he tested positive day 3, and we know that's my day 0 because I was already coughing, but I tested negative at first. But I still felt like shit the next day, so I tested again and I tested positive. And I got Paxlovid the first day. It's a 5-day run, and then you're supposed to test like the day after it, and then 5 days, 10, 15, because some people do experience a rebound. And my partner tested the first day after he came negative. He stayed negative. I was still positive, having gotten the Paxlovid day 1. And, like, I never felt worse than having a bad summer cold, and I understand that I had the mildest case scenario, you know what I mean? Like, I was still sick, but I didn't feel anywhere near as shitty as my partner did. Like, my partner, day 2 of the medicine, at like 3 o'clock in the morning, literally looked at me and was like, I'm gonna die. I feel like if this keeps up, I'm gonna die. And, like, I had a few hours of a sore This is the one that tripped me up the most the first time I did this, so look at my nose. And I'm gonna come in from the sides with a light. Should I come to my nose every time? I think I should come out to the side. I don't know how to do light triggers. Anyway, the fuck was I talking about? Oh, yeah, it was scary knowing that, like, my kid had already missed a week of school. And then, like, I was still negative the first day after, but I hadn't felt particularly bad. I was just, like, as soon as I stopped tasting the after taste of the medication, which, like, I'm not gonna talk about because it can get really gross. I guess if I'm gonna tell you to look at my nose, I should keep my fucking head still. But, if you want to look it up on your own, you can, and hopefully it will dissuade you. If you are someone who still thinks they can go out and, like, be safe from this without a mask or without any other, like, mitigating factors. The medication was awful, and I would recommend it as a torture device, being completely honest. I literally melted a hole in the top of my tongue, like a blister, and taught myself how to fall asleep with a cough drop in my mouth because the taste was so bad it kept me up at night. So yeah, I don't get it. And, like, don't get it for other reasons too, because, like I said, my partner had, like, a really, really bad experience with it. You know what I mean? But he did have a shorter experience with it, having gotten on the medication cocktail. For me, I did not test positive until 2 days after I finished the medicine, and then, like, I was still waking up and, like, you know how you can feel when you have a cough? You can feel where it's, like, it's swollen, but it doesn't hurt, or it doesn't itch, or it doesn't scratch, or, like, it's not affecting your voice at all. You just know you're gonna have to cough at some point. And, like, I was still waking up with that feeling. I still have that feeling in the back of my throat weeks later. Speaking of, excuse me. But, I was positive, and it was a Thursday. Or it was a Thursday when I tested negative, I think. I don't remember. Time isn't real. But we were trying to figure out how to bring my son home from, you know, the different places we sent him while we were sick to try and keep him from catching it. And, like, thankfully he stayed, like, no symptoms, you know, not even, like, and we tested him, so, like, he didn't even have an asymptomatic course. Like, we know my son didn't get this vascular disease that changes your entire system, you know. But we were discussing bringing him home, and it was like, you know what, just let him keep, like, miss the Friday. He'd only be back one day. And that day I felt like enough fatigue and the cough again that I was like, you know, I don't trust this. And there are all these articles out there talking about how some people, because, like, I was trying to figure out why the bitter taste in our mouth was there. So I looked up these articles, and there were also articles about how, this is not a sponsored video, about how, like, people were rebounding. So I tested again just to be safe, and I was still positive. I rebounded, and it was like 2 more weeks. I tested positive. I had my first symptoms on the 4th. I tested positive the 5th, and it is
the 25th, and I still have a bit of a cough. I don't remember when I did eventually test negative, because like I was just counting like every 3 days. Every 3 days I tested just to be sure. But like when I tested negative, or when I tested positive again, the doctor asked me like, did you feel better and then feel worse again? And I had to tell her, like, I have felt the same this entire time. I have never felt worse than a bad summer cold. I feel the same as I did 3 days ago when I had a few hours of sore throat, and since then it has been cough and fatigue, and that's it. And that was the marker she was looking for, was if I felt worse, or if I felt better and then felt worse again. Because like a lot of viruses like to do that, where like you'll feel better and then it'll start replicating again, and then you'll feel worse, and then you have to reset your day 0. And like not knowing if I had reset to day 0, not knowing if I was still making replication competent virus, like I had to confine it to my room behind the one closed door in my house. My son stayed upstairs. Like, he did come back and start going back to school. Like, I didn't prepare his food. I didn't drive him to school. Like, we didn't split the laptop. Like, it was 2 weeks of being fully aware that I had gone to work where I was expected to complete tasks. I had gone to school where I was expected to, take in new information. I had gone to sports practices and had exerted myself, feeling worse than I did over the course of those 2 weeks before I finally came negative again. And I couldn't do anything. I couldn't make anything. I couldn't touch anything because I couldn't be sure I wouldn't pass this, body altering. Even though, like, again, like, it's a toss up. And I wouldn't ever want, like, I was still sick. It still sucked. And I wouldn't want to pass it on to my son. But it is a toss-up between, like, my partner sucking sea shit for 7 days and then it clearing entirely, and me getting the medicine too early and, like, not having that bad of a run at it, but it lasted forever. Like, we've been telling each other, like, in our darker moments, like, well, we'll see who made the better decision based on who has a stroke in a month. And, it was just a struggle, and it was really scary. That was kind of dark.
I interrupted myself there to shoot a little disclaimer, because, like, that was dark. And, like, I do always want to be honest with you guys, like, that's where my head's at. But at the same time, like, there's still, I should remember that I am putting myself out there to be a safe space for people, and I should, like, curb some of the gross shit that comes into my head. But like I said, like, the COVID is making it really hard to think sometimes, and, like, hard to remember, and it's, like, super fucking with my executive function, and, like, it's just been an ordeal. It's been an ordeal and a half, and I'm really relieved that we kept my son negative through the whole thing. Like, we kept him away from it, and, like, I can remember the first day I tried to film this. I had already had 1 cup of coffee. So, like, I knew I had already done it for the day. And then I filmed, and I was like, okay, so we'll watch that back later and see if there's anything salvageable. There wasn't. Let me go get my coffee to tell this story. I'll be right back. My Keurig is malfunctioning. But that's okay, because it's gonna allow me to do shit like this.
I'd stalled out halfway through a cup. But like, even on the lowest setting, I wouldn't have been able to not use another cup. So now we just have 2 coffee cups. But yeah, I had already made a cup of coffee that day. So I ran another cup through the Keurig with no problems that time. And it just like sat on the counter because it was already done, and like the things I needed to finish making the cup of coffee drinkable, because as you can, I don't know if you can see, I'm scared to spill it, but I take my coffee light and sweet, so like I needed a spoon and I needed the milk and sugar, and the spoon was in a drawer and the milk and sugar were in the refrigerator, and I just couldn't get it together enough to like get everything that I needed out, because you know, all my ADHDers out there know, like, if it's behind a door, it doesn't fucking exist, even if you know it's there. I'm so tired of coughing. I'm so tired of coughing. I'm so tired of my lat muscles are sore. Because even on the not lowest, like the least amount Keurig setting, it fills all the way up to the top because like the walls are thick. Ooh. Now let the seabirds cry, I'll let the seabirds cry. Oh God, YouTube gods, don't copyright me. They don't have a record label on purpose. I know I talk about how much oh no, that's really loud. I know I talk about how much I write and how much words are my playground, but like I've been singing since I was in kindergarten, so like the past month of not being able to just like belt out whatever 8 bars of music came into my head at the time, like it was murder. I remember the first day I did it. Thankfully, I have not experienced any shortness of breath. I have not experienced any I can take the deep inhale and I can still like sustain, but because of the coughing and because of like whatever it did to my throat, like there were times where I just knee jerk start singing every once in a while, because again, ADHD, no impulse control to speak of, and if it pops into my head, like I think it's part of not misophonia, what's it called? Echolalia. But like I did it one day and like I got 3 words in and just like immediately started hacking them along and almost threw up. And I was like, wow, so this is what it's gonna be for a while, huh? Anyway, it sucked. But it's over, and like it was a lot. It was really scary. It was scary realizing that like he had it, and he had it for a couple days and had been walking around coughing, and like you see me using the same brushes. I had
Like, I didn't want to buy all new brushes. I actually, like, boiled these so I could still have, like, pretty things to draw on you guys with. You know, these were the first makeup brushes. You know, I talk about my executive dysfunction a lot, and it has affected the way even I, like, look at myself in the mirror. Like, I can remember when I was younger, like, one of my few chores was keeping my room clean. But, like, before I was old enough to do it myself, my mom would do my laundry and then fold my laundry, and then she would put it on my dresser that had the mirror on top of it. And my clothes would just sit there stacked up in front of my mirror to the point where, like, I just stopped looking at myself in the mirror before I left for the day. Like, it was never my habit to do a face or fit or hair check. You know, like, I never got used to paying attention to how I looked or how I was changing because I couldn't put my clothes away. That reminds me of what I said earlier about making this mental healthy. The way I got over the bump for my coffee, and the way I get over doing chores around the house, and the way I'm going to have to do things moving forward now that, you know, whatever neuro effects of the COVID hang out. See, just like that, the thought comes and it's gone. The attention deficit brain is actually understimulated. Like, you have a lack of neurotransmitters, and that's not exactly something you can just, like, power through. Like, oh, I'm gonna go till I pass out or whatever. Like, you're not gonna pass out about it. Like, your neurons shoot neurotransmitters between them, and if you're not making the neurotransmitters to shoot between them, no communication happens. You can't do it. And I really wish that our society hadn't decided that being addicted to something means likes it really a lot. Because it doesn't. I don't like that I have to do this. But I've figured out a way to overcome the neurotransmitter deficit in my brain. I have a few group chats, and then I have a few, like, singular friends that I can talk to when I'm having a day, like with the cleaning I talked about earlier, where it's like triggering to know that there are things that I have to do and I can't do them. I can't just have a thought, make the decision, and act on it. But I have a trusted few that I can complain to, and it acts on a very misunderstood addiction that I just happen to have, having grown up the way I did. You can be addicted to stress and crisis and emotional abandonment. And this is the notebook dedicated to the channel. This is where I put all my ideas down, including the list, and I'm on the last item, or I finished the last item. But obviously this has to be like a negotiation that you have with your friend groups or your individual friends. You know, don't just dump on people, and don't just constantly like open conversations with negativity and spam complaints, but like, excuse me, I found out like if you complain to enough people, if you recreate the stress of having to do this thing that you can't make yourself do, you can actually like get yourself stressed enough that you make enough neurotransmitters to get up and go do the thing. And like, it sucks. That sucks. Like, it sucks constantly being the friend that's complaining. And you know, these are people that I've talked to about it and have asked permission to do this. Once I figured out that's what I was doing, once I figured out that that's what I was using to get through my to-do lists. But like, I don't know, life hack. Have the adult negotiation of who is willing to catch your complaints. Who's willing to like my dog has decided that I'm done filming for the day, I think. So, I guess I'm just gonna wrap it up on saying like, I'll probably spin that out and do another video about how to, you know, different ways to overcome your neurotransmitter deficits if you have any. And yeah, like, this video has been all over the place. I hope it lulled some of you to sleep. I hope the people who have it on in the background for company have found my company pleasant enough, despite the kind of dark turn it took at one point and how whiny it was at other points, and scatterbrained, and I don't know. I am going to try and get back to you fellas more regularly, because this is still something that I want to do. It's something that I find rewarding, and you know, obviously I could run out of time at any time. So here's to hoping, you know. If you've made it this far, thanks for paying me your attention, and I wish you sweet sleep and luck on tomorrow's adventures, with hearts, kisses, and respect. Bye.